わせてほしいの It's summertime君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないでも気持ちを伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れるマジカット君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないでも気持ちを伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れるマジカット君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないでも気持ちを伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れるマジカット何年だっても言えない後悔したって今はないでも言葉はここまで出てるの It's summertime 海岸通りを歩きたいドライブだってしてみたい足し線の合わせてほしいの It's summertime君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻れなくたって忘れない い足し線の合わせてほしいのレーサータイム君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないで しのレスマタイム君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないででも気持ちが伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れる街角君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないでも気持ちが伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れる街角
And we're live. Hello, hello.
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 Hello. Sorry, I was responding to stuff on YouTube. Quick updates in case you missed it during the holiday break. We have a new channel trailer in the style of Toonami. And we put up a special 2026 surprise announcement. Essentially, we announced Tanya Abridged. Tanya the Evil Abridged. So, yeah. We just announced that we're working on it this year. It's going to be much later in the year. Like, it's not going to be a thing that we're like, February, here it is. No. It's going to take a lot.
Full
It's gonna
series.
be a thing. Yeah.
full
Hi,
thing.
Blabby.
Hello.
Iron Mouse Saber Dance. There you go. Yeah, get the dance
Yeah.
notes out.
Welcome back.
Do a little dance.
Hope all of you are
Do a
doing
little
okay.
stuff.
Dance.
Get down to it.
Can
I
do
love that
good,
Revan
good,
comes
good.
in and calls us nerds. Like, you're not one of us. All right.
Takes one to know one, bub.
Takes one to snow
Oh,
one.
damn!
Anyway, that being said,
Shots are fired.
if you can tell from the cover of the image change, we're starting volume 14 this time. So as you can see from some of this, it's going to be a little focused on Nanahoshi. Enjoy your raid of literally 2. That's pretty much how our raids go. Don't worry about it. Then we've got Rudius, and there's one other. You can't see her name, but that's the little gremlin demon lord right there, the demon emperor Kishirika Kishirisu. But we're also, look at that, we're gonna meet Perugius, and then Siviril is gonna be another one, and then Atofe Ratofe. That's all you need to know. If you can't tell, there's demons here. We're going back to the demon continent, sort of. Yeah.
Going back to World 1-1.
And if we're seeing Perugius, that means at some point we have to be getting on that flying castle. Oh man. That being said, yeah, we're going back to Lapita. That's what's happening. Going to Lapita. That being said, it is going to be once again. Pardon me. Once again, we're going to be on Shim reading this time around. Siviril is very beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome. That being said, yes, as I alluded to, okay, Slime is delayed right now because I had a meeting with Majestic or Calvin, however you want to say it. He's the audio guy for Slime, and we are working on different scenes. So I have worked on scene 1, I've worked on scene 3, and I'm going to be working on scene 4, and he's going to cover the other 4 scenes. He's going to work on 2, 5, 6, and 7. and I'm just he's waiting on me to get a few things finished, which is on my end. I'm just taking the cleaned up and uh, leveled audio that has been balanced up. I'm taking the dialogue that has been cleaned up and leveled and all that, and I'm placing it in on top of the raw audio that was there, making sure that everything's lined up and the flaps match and everything. And then I'm muting that. I am officially muting that, and then we are uh, gonna. I send that over, and then we start adding sound effects and atmosphere and stuff like that to the scenes. We just get the sound design done, and then he sends me that, and I add the music and in the very, very end and put all the scenes together. There are a few times where the flaps don't match with the process stuff because some of the takes were slightly different. So we're going to reflap in a few places and stuff like that. So we're going to have one more final pass with Slime on the video side of things, but everything else should still be good. There's no sound stuff that we've got to worry about. It is what it is. We've got a few things that we're doing that make things a bit more fun. And yeah, there we go. Good times. So Slime will probably be out next month instead of it's just that like it requires a lot of plugins that I'm not able to grab and I don't have the money for. We may have to do crowdfunding for something like that. I don't know. But yeah, we know the amount that we have to crowdfund for the upcoming 2 projects of Overlord and Tanya the Evil this year, but we need to have internal meetings discussing more the particulars of whatever crowdfunding we're going to be doing, when and where, and what kind of stuff we want to prepare in advance for it and things like that. But you should know more about that, if not by the end of February, then by the beginning or by the beginning of March. I don't think we'd be making anybody wait till the middle of March. We're trying to get things out pretty quickly on that regard. That being said, I can officially say that the video editing for episode 3 of Solo Leveling has commenced. We're working on that. I am already scripting episode 4 of Solo Leveling, episode 11 of Slime. Things are moving as they should be on those particular projects. Any updates on date abridged?
Yeah, actually, we are still chugging along. We actually got some special little chibi flaps and little animation stuff done as well. Because there's 2 parts. We kind of split them up in terms of like when it was like brought to us. I don't know why, because like technically it's just 1 full episode. We're doing a lot of it on the first, like going chronologically, and I think for the most part, the first half video wise is effectively done. I have to check with Cody to be doubly sure, but I'm pretty sure at least that is ready to go into audio.
Awesome.
If not,
I think
like 90%.
The last bit of stuff at the moment is in regards to Tanya. I know that they're either finishing up they're either on the finishing touches of the video for Slime, or not Slime, Shield, or they're about to start the audio work on Shield. So that's where they're at on Shield. And let's see. As for Tanya, we haven't started scripting yet. There's a little bit of stuff that we want to do before scripting, but we did sit down and start coming up with like ideas for what we want to do with specific characters and get some general overall ideas and put a layout of kind of what we want certain characters to act like and behave like within this world. And then we're going to sit down and we're going to rewatch all of season 1 of Tanya. And from there, everything should be good to get started scripting. We're taking extra care with Tanya. It's not to say that we don't take care with all of our other projects. It's just we're taking a little bit more care with Tanya because this is definitely more of a serious show that we're going to do. So this is going to be us kind of flexing more of the serious, dark, and dramatic stuff. We're not moving too far away with with Tanya the Evil, like we're not making a slapstick out of something that dark. We definitely want to do things dark, but we also want to do things slightly differently, and we'll throw in some jokes and stuff like that. But at the same time, dude, we want to pay respect to the source material. It's just that simple. If you're hoping that we're gonna take Tanya the Evil and turn it into Code Mint, and suddenly they're screaming at each other about buying clothes at the soup store, that's not us. We're just not doing that. We're gonna take the source material seriously. It doesn't mean we're gonna adhere to everything in the source material, but it does mean that we're gonna show it some basic freaking respect. Like, I love Tanya. I think that it's a really good show, and we do want to take our time to talk about certain themes that exist in Tanya that are kind of subtle, and we just want to shout them out loud, and just have a little bit of extra stuff. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'm really excited with what we've worked on so far. It's so good. All right. That being said, thank you guys so much for sticking around with us for these Fat Dog updates. We're back to full-time streaming now, so as you guys can see, we're doing the light novels here. We've got Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got streams with Asha. Thursday, Moon will be back to doing his watch-alongs. I believe right now his next watch-along is going to be Space Dandy. So
Ooh.
that will be fun. And then from
That'll be a good one.
and then on Friday, we'll be back over on YouTube for Fridays and Sundays with the other two streams. So guys, if you were coming here for the fun times with us just chatting about whatever nerdy topics we want to cover, or just whatever topics in general that we want to talk about, it's literally just a nerdy hangout, and I'm cool with that. Technical difficulties has now officially moved to our YouTube channel, so if you want to come hang out with us, talk about stuff, rant about terrible anime tier lists that are put up on websites, we do all of that stuff on Friday evenings. And then Sunday, we're back with Anime Church. We just did our first one yesterday. Please go check that out if you haven't. And that's pretty much it. That's everything. I have updated all the Fat Dog stuff. And we can now officially get started with Volume 14.
Volume 14.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do want to do one thing as we're getting started. I want to read the chapter titles out before we really properly do it. Yeah, because I want to give people expectations for this volume, because this volume has some shit going down.
I'm assuming this is
probably
going to be the volume where season 3 is probably going to be.
You better sing.
Probably ending.
You better dance.
Dance. I'll be the one who will most likely not remember to be on.
What? Why did it close? Why did it close on me? How dare you, Kendall?
Did it crash?
I was upset that you were dancing.
Kendall just shut off on me, and I'm like, what? Why?
Like, you weren't paying enough attention. You took too long, and I got bored. I just,
like,
how dare you? Got upset.
I just looked at Kendall like, bitch, how could you? Oh, everybody stretch.
Sure thing.
Right, I'm gonna go through
bitch, how dare you?
9 yards.
The whole 9 yards of it. Yes.
Yep.
Do the arm swings.
Okay. There's 14. And okay, there's the table of contents. Yep. All right, here we go. So it's funny, we have literally no pre-roll this time around. So, table of contents gives us Chapter 1, Floating Fortress.
There is a
Chapter
thing at the
2,
beginning, though.
I know. Yeah, the color insert stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Color inserts and title page. But I'm not reading those. All right, so Chapter 2, An Audience with Perugius. Chapter 3, The Past and a Curse, Summoning and Jealousy. Chapter 4, Lament. Chapter 5, Return to the Demon Continent. Chapter 6, Search for
The Two
Kishirika.
Towers.
Yes, indeed. Chapter 7, An Audience with the Immortal Demon King. Chapter 8, Showdown with the Immortal Demon King. Chapter 9, A Day in the Floating Fortress. Chapter 10, here we go, guys. In the back half of the book, Turning Point, Part 4.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. And then
Ruh-roh.
Turning point.
Chapter 11.
Again?
Chapter 10, Turning Point, Part 4. Yeah. Oh, that one's
Ruh-roh.
crazy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that one's crazy.
I thought you were gonna say Point Blank or something with that one.
No, Turning Point Part 4. It is straight up there. Nothing. Then Chapter 11, Bankruptcy. But The Birth of a New Sword King. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Ruh-roh.
No, sorry. Chapter 11 is an end and a beginning, and the extra chapter, The Birth of a New Sword King, that is our continuation from what we just finished reading about Eris.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That far ahead before we figure out what she's up to? That
Yeah.
sounds
Oh,
good.
dude, the Eris stuff is
A lot
always
of
at
shit
the
goes
end of
down
these
then.
books. Oh, yeah.
From here on
Just
out for a
remember
little while.
these chapters
sure.
are way shorter than the slime stuff.
That is true. I forgot about
By
that.
the way, the slime
there's a
stuff
lot
is
of
getting
filler
hella
stuff.
crazy. Hella
I'm sure.
crazy.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Because they're going to be wrapping up things, right?
Slime was
Mhm.
19,
18, I
right?
believe.
Dude,
No,
guys,
it's not
guys,
18.
it gets even crazier.
Oh, wow.
It gets even crazier. Check this out, right?
Huh.
The stuff just for the anime is effing crazy right now. Season 4 starts in April. We're getting 5 cores for season 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And core 1 and core 2, essentially the first 24 episodes are back to back. So spring and summer, we're getting 24 full episodes of Slime.
Damn. They're really trying to hustle then.
Dude, 24 episodes is usually 3 books. I'm telling you right now, like,
Yeah.
the first
that's
half
gonna
of
be a
season
lot.
4 is taking us through volume 10, volume 11, and into volume 12. That
Yeah, because
means
the light novels
that
are
means
almost done, right?
by the time we get to the end of the second core, we should be starting off whatever the skirmishes or whatever, the whole thing with the Empire should be kicking off around that time. Which means we'll get the dungeon dive. That's
Ooh,
I'm trying to
neat.
be as vague as possible. We're getting the dungeon, then we get the council, then we get the arrival of the other primals,
Yeah.
and along with their underlings, and then they get named and all that stuff. So that's cool. We get to talk about the upgrades to the to the Tempest dungeon, and then stuff pops off with the Empire. And then, like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what's gonna be the rest of the cores. The other 3 cores is just all that Empire stuff. I hope that season 4 ends with the next major power up from Rimuru. When Rimuru completely loses his shit and it's just like, he's like, all right,
When he-
boys, unleash hell. Like, holy cow. Not only that, but
Watch people's
No,
heads
but-
a roll.
it's not simply that. It's the fact that we literally get to put the dungeon on full display in a wartime. That, I believe, is covered in the anime because we're doing 5 cores. We're essentially doing 2.5 seasons worth of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
That's
I'm
gonna be a
looking
lot.
forward to it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And then I am the immortal demon king, Atofe Ratofe Rybok. Yeah, the funniest thing is when you find out who her husband is or was. That's the even crazier thing. I'm not trying hard enough. It only looks that way because your goals lie elsewhere. It's because I'm seeking what a shut-in's goals should be. Yep. Author Rudius Greyrat. All right, guys. With that being said, it is now time to duel or read.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna play video games.
Okay.
You have fun reading.
All right. Chapter 1, Floating Fortress. On foot, our journey would take half a day going north from the magic city of Sharia, but it was just an hour on horseback. Our destination was some old ruins, the remnants of a stronghold. Debris was scattered across the ground.
I missed another redeem. Revan said hydrate, which is actually kind of a good thing
Oh, okay.
for us for the reading segment. Also, Revan,
Okay.
you could probably
Thanks.
jump in and screw around some more, because I may turn it on and just let you go to town. Yeah.
Oh, also, small update. Cube was not feeling well, so he won't be here today. But next week
Ah.
he should be feeling better.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I know
So,
he said he'd been
yeah.
feeling he was sick for a while.
Yeah, there's some nasty stuff
Yeah,
going
yeah.
around. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
All right.
yeah,
Later.
I'll continue. Debris was scattered across the ground, vestiges of some stone flooring. Thick stone pillars lay toppled. It was like looking at the Parthenon, except the years have been less kind to this place. No doubt at one period it was a majestic sight to behold, but now it was a little more than an echo of history. These are the hold on. These are the remains of the Scott fortress. The humans built it during Laplace's war. They say there were 1,000 humans who barricaded themselves in to oppose the demons' invasion. Sadly, they were no match for them, and the fortress was eventually captured. This helpful explanation came via the woman beside me, a blonde with braided hair. She had an innocent look and was clad in a luxurious travel outfit. Even from afar, you could tell Ariel Anamoa Asira was a peerless beauty who oozed charisma. Oh, that was her. Anyway. Wait, could she be directing that explanation at me? I kept my mouth shut and glanced around me. Luke and Sylphie were immediately behind us, with Roxy, Zenoba, Cliff, and Alina Lee bringing up the rear. Nanahoshi was in front leading our group. Ariel's gaze was fixed upon me, and there was no one between us. I was right. She was talking to me. We'd recently traveled with some Renoan nobility for a bit, but the two of us had really never talked, hence my confusion. You sure are knowledgeable, Princess, I said finally. She gave me a soft smile. It's depicted in a lot of the folk songs in this area. I didn't know you had an interest in folk songs. Making connections with the local nobility requires that I be familiar with them, Ariel answered matter-of-factly. Knowledge of old tales was apparently essential for coaxing up to the upper class. That must be a lot of work. But are you sure we can get to Lord Perugius from here? That's a good question. I have no idea how it works, but... Oh, sorry. So it was vice versa. Are you sure we can get to Lord Perugius from here? That's a good question. I have no idea how it works, but I paused, looking at Nanahoshi ahead of us. She was shouldering an enormous backpack and having a rough time walking thanks to the rubble. Even so, she kept on trucking without a backwards glance. I was following her lead, but I wondered how she planned to get to Perugius from here. As far as I could remember, my readings on teleportation magic made no mention about such circles around here. Or maybe there was one, but it hadn't been noted because it was hidden. I'm more worried about whether he'll be annoyed by how many people we're bringing. Ariel chuckled. Lord Rudius, you say some amusing things. This is the hero who earned himself the title of king, you know. Our small group will hardly faze him. I hope you're right. I glanced around, mentally ticking off each person in our group. Nanahoshi, me, Ariel, Sylphie, Luke, Roxy, Zenoba, Cliff, and Elena Lise. That made 9 of us, enough to be a large family unit. Although royalty might not consider it such a big crowd, they often entertain dozens of guests at once, so a group of fewer than 10 probably wouldn't faze them. Norna had turned down my invitation. She was too busy with school. She had said she had to work, or she would work hard to balance studying swordsmanship with being a member of the student council. Maybe that factored into her refusal. However, if I'd brought her with us, I'd probably have to bring Aisha too. That would have made us a party of 11, definitely in a crowd. Or definitely a crowd. I didn't feel comfortable taking that many people to meet someone I didn't really know. Lord Perugius spends his days in seclusion now, but after Laplace's war, he lived in Asura Kingdom for a time. The people there think of him as an equal to their own king. It's said he once brought 100 servants with him when he visited the palace. Someone like that would hardly bat an eyelash at a tiny group of 9 people, said Ariel. I guess so. In a completely unrelated tangent, Ariel's voice sure was pleasant to listen to. It was surely natural to be annoyed when visitors came knocking with no prior notice, yet Ariel's words made it sound as if everything would be perfectly fine. It was honestly disconcerting. Her voice was like the devil's whisper. I glanced over at the princess. If he was fed up with life at the palace, then maybe he doesn't like the concept of visitors at all. Were that the case, Lady Nanahoshi would not have agreed to let me come along. I don't really think she puts that much thought into it, I mumbled, recalling the circumstances that led Ariel to join our group in the first place. When Nanahoshi first mentioned Perugius, I felt as excited as a little kid on the morning of my birthday. This was the armored dragon king we were talking about. I knew all about him. I'd read a book about him not long after I reincarnated in this world. Perugius was a hero from Laplace's war 400 years ago. According to what I read, he could control 12 familiars, had restored an ancient floating fortress to its former glory, and had even fought Laplace himself with his comrades. After Lapis was sealed, people sang his praises so much that the new calendar was named Armored Dragon after him. Although Perugius was known as the Armored Dragon King, he had no territory over which to rule. He eventually left the Asuran palace and began traveling the world in his floating fortress, Chaos Breaker. We were actually going to meet this man from the legends. I couldn't shake my anticipation. I mean, we're going to visit the castle in the sky, Laputa. True, I was busy enough between being a parent and conducting my own research, but I still really wanted to go. Sorry, Lucy, your daddy's no match for his own curiosity, but I promise I'll bring something back for you. And so I decided to tag along with Nanahoshi. While I inwardly battled with my own selfishness, Sylphie wasn't nearly as conflicted. Instead, she asked, "Would it be all right if I brought Princess Ariel along?" Ariel? Nanahoshi scrunched up her expression. Said princess had tried soliciting Nanahoshi's favor a number of times. After all, Nanahoshi controlled a large trade pipeline between Asura Kingdom and Renoa Kingdom. Of course, Ariel wanted the girl in her pocket. Problem was, Nanahoshi wanted as little to do with this world as possible, which is why she acted annoyed at everything in it. Actually, that's not acting. I think she really is annoyed. Yes, said Sylphie. Lord Perugius has lived in seclusion for many years now, but the Asuran court still reveres him. Princess Ariel is, well, considering her plans for the future. I think she'd like to meet him. Ariel had cultivated connections in a number of places for purposes of eventually taking the Asuran crown. In fact, she had spent years now making such preparations, but her chances were about as good as a coin toss. Not a very safe bet, if you ask me. The princess would be graduating next year, but I had no idea what she planned to do after that. Maybe she would continue to sit on her hands and accumulate more power, or maybe she would go back to the capital in Asura to seize the throne. That would help if she chose the latter, but honestly speaking, I was feeling a bit less enthused now that I was married and had a child. I want to keep my involvement at a level where I wouldn't negatively impact my family at all, or if at all possible. Well, my feelings aside, Sylphie's proposal was probably another attempt to help Ariel with her connections. If Ariel could get the backing of Armored Dragon King Perugius, a man revered as a hero in the Asuran Kingdom, it would make her struggle for the crown easier. Well, I do owe you for all you've done, Nanahoshi shrugged. Sure, why not? You can bring her. Considering how obvious Ariel's ambitions were, I figured Nanahoshi would turn her down, but she agreed readily. Apparently, Sylphie had gone or looked after Nanahoshi while I was gone. That included sharing food, providing her with clothing, and casting detoxification magic on her when she got sick. Nanahoshi had rarely come over since Lucy's birthday, but Sylphie said she used our bath a lot before then. Sylphie pumped a fist and smiled. Really? Thank you. Princess Ariel will be delighted. And that was how Ariel and Luke ended up joining us. Sylvie said Ariel was unusually enthusiastic about it. I guess being a princess didn't stop her from being excited to meet someone so famous. Even I was psyched. I mean, this was a real live hero we were talking about. The kind you only heard about in books. Couldn't wait to see what kind of person he was. Hopefully not a cranky one. Come to think of it, I suddenly remembered I had met one of his subordinates a long time ago, before the displacement incident. The man called himself Arumanfi the Bright. He thought I was the mastermind behind the displacement incident and tried to attack me. Although Ghislaine managed to talk him down, I didn't get the impression that he was a bad person. Still, considering he tried to kill me out of nowhere, there was something undeniably dangerous about him. Who knew if his master Perugius would be any better? Thought made me nervous. Okay, but just because his subordinate flew off the handle doesn't mean he will. Plus, it seemed like Perugius had a premonition of what was about to happen and tried to stop the displacement incident before it occurred. If so, he deserved all the praise in the world, although trying to kill an innocent in the process. Well, whatever. The past is the past. I'll let bygones be bygones. No good would come out of acting hostile to someone I was meeting for the first time. Forgiveness was important. We're here. While I was lost in thought, Nanahoshi finally stopped our group as we reached the center of the ruins. There was absolutely nothing here, or so I thought. Upon closer inspection, I noticed a stone buried underneath the rubble that was perfect for sitting on. It was a monument, actually, one with a glowing emblem that represented a fearsome bunch, the 7 great powers. These types of monuments were scattered all over the world, but who knew we'd find one here? All the same, it wasn't a magic circle. Perhaps there was a door somewhere that would pop open, revealing stairs that led down to a teleportation circle. Or maybe the monument itself had some kind of warp mechanism installed. Or maybe we just needed to recite some magic words and the stone would automatically teleport us. So, what are we going to do now that we're here? Call him. Nanahoshi shrugged off her backpack and fished through it for a metal whistle. She placed it against her lift and blew hard. No sound came out. Only air. Is this a dog whistle or something? I'm not hearing anything? Or I'm not hearing anything. Cliff narrowed his eyes, skeptical. It's a sound normal people can't perceive, but he should come now. Nanahoshi sat herself on one of the many stones scattered around us. A sound normal people can't hear, but somehow Perugius can hear it from here? Either that means this flute is a magic item or Perugius is a dog. Cliff, Elena Lisa's expression turned grim as she addressed him. What is it? Just a little forewarning. Someone may say something demeaning to you while we're there, but you mustn't lose your clue or your cool and mouth off. All right. He scowled, pouting like a little kid who'd just been scolded by his mother about his studies. I know that. I'm not a child. Elena Lise nestled against him and whispered something in his ear. Cliff's expression relaxed, which meant she was telling him sweet nothings or she'd apologized. I'm anxious to see what kind of statues reside within the floating fortress, Zonoma declared, ever the enthusiast. The moment we learned that we'd be going to visit Perugius, he said, we should take the opportunity to show Lord Perugius our creations. Then he stuffed a number of figurines I made, including the Regeared one, into a box to take with us. I had no idea if we would really get the opportunity or not, but Zonoma planned to advertise our business to Perugius, just as I had shown off my work to Bodigatti. He sure was passionate about our work. Julie and Ginger weren't with us. Julie was staying behind in Zenoba's room, and Zenova had ordered Ginger to act as a bodyguard for my family. Not that they were in any kind of danger, but at least she could provide assistance if they needed anything. I was sure Ginger's true wish was to be by Zenoba's side, but it was at least reassuring to know I had someone to look after my family while I was gone. Try not to push your interest on him too much. We are talking about someone who's lived for over 400 years, I said. Well, Lord Body has lived even longer than that. Anyone who has lived that long would have to appreciate the fine quality of your figures, Master. If you say so, I tilted my head. Huh? A light appeared in the distance. He's here, mumbled Nanahoshi. A figure appeared before us a split second later. It was almost instantaneous in the blink of an eye. The man had blonde hair and was dressed in what looked like a white school uniform. He was likely very handsome, but his face was hidden beneath a yellow mask that resembled a fox. A long dagger hung by his side. He looked exactly as I remembered. Aramanfi the Bright, at your service, he said. It really was uncanny how abruptly he appeared. One moment he wasn't here, and then there he was in the middle of our group. He probably flew from their floating fortress at the speed of light. He did the same when I first met him, back before the entire Fatoa region disappeared. Our group went silent. Aramanfi briefly glanced my way. I wonder if he remembered me. Part of me feared he might attack me again. I secretly activated my demon eye, tightening my grip around my staff. However, Aramanfi didn't seem to recognize me at all, much to my relief. His gaze passed over the rest of our party before he walked over to Nanahoshi. There's quite a few of you, he said. He must have been tallying our numbers. Nanahoshi nodded. Yes, there is, but that's not a problem, is it? He said I could bring a party of 10. The number of people isn't an issue, however. His gaze landed on Roxy. The demon is. What? Why? Roxy looked like a cat who'd been splashed with freezing cold water. We don't allow demons on our floating fortress. Oh, is that right? Roxy's shoulders slumped forward. She was crushed. During Laplace's war, Perugius had fought against the demons. Perhaps he still held a grudge against them. War tended to leave its mark on people's hearts. Is there no way you can make an exception? Lord Perugius is a very magnanimous man, but he hates demons. I had nearly forgotten such discrimination existed because most people weren't particularly prejudiced towards demons in this region, but the same could not be said for the rest of the world. Perugius might be a man from legend, but he was also a participant in the war. Just as Richard bore the mental scars from those events, perhaps Perugius did as well. Still, I did feel bad for Roxy since she was the only one who couldn't come along. No, it's fine, said Roxy. Her shoulders sank in defeat. If that's how it is, I'll stay behind. Besides, I was a bit afraid to see Lord Perugius anyway. And I still have my work as a professor here. This is for the best. Although she was giving up, she couldn't hide the disappointment on her face. Part of her clearly wanted to come with us. Still, she forced a smile as she turned towards me, trying to be reassuring. It's okay, Rudius. I'll take care of everything back home. All right, but I'll bring you a souvenir. She tugged down the brim of her hat so she would hide her face. After a short pause, she mumbled, as if in jest, I don't need any souvenirs. Give me a big hug when you get home. That'll be enough for me. I threw my arms around her, holding her close for a whole 10 seconds. Her heart started drumming hard, and I had to pull away before my atomic bazooka reloaded itself. Thank you. No, I said. Thank you. Roxy's cheeks turned red as she fidgeted. She smiled despite her embarrassment as the two of us pulled away. Once I get back home, we'll do all that and more. Finished? Aramanfi asked. He had made his way over while the two of us were sharing a heartfelt farewell. Now that my hands weren't otherwise preoccupied, he handed me a baton. I glanced around and realized everyone else had one. Keep a hold of that, he said. I grasped the object. It was metal, about 20 centimeters long, with a complex pattern carved into its surface. There was a magic crystal on either end, most likely a magical implement. So, what do I do while holding it? You need only hold it, he said. Lord Perugius will use teleportation magic to bring all of you to his fortress. So this item was imbued with teleportation magic? Was there really such a thing? If so, that was awfully convenient. I thought they said humans couldn't be summoned. Wait, maybe it's fine, since this isn't summoning magic. What's the difference between the two anyway? How are we supposed to get back once we're done? You will return the same way, for the most part, Aramanfi answered casually. That means there's some way for them to teleport us back here. Lucy would be an adult by the time we got back if we had to return on foot. It was a relief to know that wouldn't be happening. Does everyone have one of these? Oh, sorry. Does everyone have one of these? Make sure you're holding it with your bare hands. I looked at my left hand since it was artificial, but there was no way to grip onto the baton with two bare hands. Nanhoshi surveyed us to make sure we've had followed the instructions and nodded at Aramanfi. It appears everyone is ready. Very well. Wait just a moment. He bobbed his head and was a flash of light disappearing into the distance in the next moment, most likely racing back to the fortress to tell Perugius we were ready to be summoned. This is kind of exciting, Ariel said, grinning at Sylphie. Yeah, it is. Sylphie was right. The princess was certainly more energetic than usual. Anyway, teleportation, huh? If something went wrong, we might be warped off to who knows where. Living legend though he might be, Perugius was still a person and people made mistakes. Oh boy, it's kind of scary. While I was imagining the worst case scenario, heat began coursing through the baton in my hands. The warmth transferred to my hands and it felt like I was being yanked towards it. I wonder what would happen if I let go. No doubt the teleportation magic would fail, but the sensation was so sudden, it wouldn't have surprised me if someone else dropped the baton instinctively. Huh? I glanced around and realized everyone else was already gone. No, not everyone. Sophie peered over at me a second before she had vanished. Only Roxy and myself remained. Did they leave me behind? The second doubt began to creep in, I found my consciousness being absorbed into the baton. By the time I realized what was happening, everything around me was white. It was an empty space devoid of all color. An invisible string yanked me along at unbelievable speed. It was like someone was using a power which to reel in their fishing line, and I was a fresh catch hooked on the other end, whizzing through the air. In the distance, I caught a glimpse of Sophie being similarly pulled along by this invisible force. Is this what it feels like to be on the opposite end of summoning magic? More importantly, this setting seemed familiar. I'd seen it before, but where? That's right, the man god. I never thought much about it, but now I saw that this place resembled the area I saw when I met the man god in my dreams. Except in those dreams, I was always in my former body. This time, I was still Rudius, my robes flapping around me as I soared forward. An enormous light lay waiting ahead. It was woven into a mysterious and complex magical circle, and it sucked me in as I approached. The next time I opened my eyes, there was solid ground beneath me again. I sucked in a breath. It was like being startled awake from a dream. Had I lost consciousness at some point? No, that wasn't it. I remembered flying through a great expanse of nothingness. So, this is Perugius' summoning magic, huh? It was a peculiar sensation. The last time I felt like this was during the displacement incident. Back then, I also felt like I was soaring through the air. There was a difference this time, though. A sense of stability. The calamity was like a train running off its tracks. This time was more like a taxi, one that safely delivered me to the correct location. That sure felt familiar, Sophie whispered to me. Evidently, I wasn't alone in feeling this way. Yeah, it did, I said, glancing around at our group. Ariel, Luke, Zenoba, Cliff, Elena Elise, and Nanahoshi. Everyone was here. Except for Nanahoshi and Elena Elise, they all looked absolutely baffled by what they had just experienced. At least they were all safe. This magic circle is huge, Cliff mumbled. It was only then that I realized what we were standing on. Beneath us was an enormous magic circle about 20 meters wide. It was carved directly into a beautiful marble floor. Water ran through the engraved pattern, emitting a faint light. It was most likely imbued with some type of magic. The water aside, I had seen this same kind of light before. Back in the ruins, we used to get to beggar it. In other words, it was a type of teleportation circle. Wow. What really stole my attention wasn't the pattern beneath us, but the enormous castle in front of us. It had to be at least 50 stories tall and just as wide. Its form massive and imposing. Surely in the interior would be no less majestic. I racked my brain for a comparison from my previous life, but nothing of similar size came to mind. The closest I could think of was if you took Tokyo Dome and slapped a castle on top of it. So this is a floating fortress. I had seen it from the ground before, but I never realized what a behemoth it was. Even from afar, it was no less impressionable. Amazing. Sophie's jaw dropped. It's larger than the Asuran Palace. An expansive garden sprawled before the hulking structure. It had enough trees and colorful flowers that it could be a maze. A canal ran in front of it, its water sparkling in the light. You could tell the place was well taken care of even from a distance. Rudy, behind us, Sophie squeaked. Huh? I looked behind me. On the other side of the circle was a metal fence. Beyond that was a sea of pure white. Clouds, huh? I had taken a plane once in elementary school in my previous life. The scene resembled my memories from back then, although it was different seeing it in person instead of peering at it through a window. There was something deeply moving about staring at the clouds like this. Cliff and Luke were both gaping. Even Ariel's eyes were round with surprise as she peeked over the railing, taking in the sea of white below us. Everyone was struck speechless by the view. I could hardly blame them. Airplanes didn't exist in this world, nor was mountain hiking a concept. There was no way or no other way to experience something like this. Sophie clutched at my robe. What's wrong? I'm really not good with high places. Her legs were trembling. Had she really agreed to come along to a flying castle despite her fear of heights? She sure was determined. If she lost her balance, I'd be sure to catch her and carry her. Oh, excuse me. I do hope the view from our floating fortress is to your liking, said an unfamiliar voice from behind us. I spun around. A woman stood just outside the lines of the circle, still as a statue. She had shoulder-length platinum blonde hair and her face was hidden beneath a white bird mask. It was hard to say if she was beautiful or not, but she clearly had a woman's figure. Her clothes were all white, and she held a staff topped with a magic stone that was black and mostly opaque. But that cost a pretty penny. Not that an item's only value was its financial worth, but that thing still had to be expensive, even more than my own beloved staff. That said, the most notable part of her appearance was neither her clothes nor her staff. It was her enormous jet black wings protruding from her back. One of the sky folk? Her wings had a commanding presence about them, yet the woman was so quiet as she stood there that we hadn't noticed her. It was truly bizarre. As soon as we had her attention, she tipped her head in a bow. As unversed in etiquette as I was, I could still tell how polished every movement was, or her every movement was. I extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you. I am the first of Lord Perukis' servants, Silveril of the Void. I will be the one guiding you all around our floating fortress, Chaos Breaker. I am Luke Notos Greyrat, Knight of Asura's second princess, Ariel Enemois Asura. It is a great pleasure to make your acquaintance. We look forward to seeing more of your magnificent fortress. Luke stood in front of Ariel as he offered his own polite greeting, smiling softly at Silveril. Why is he smiling at her like that? It's not like she has giant jugs. Not that they're particularly small either. Is that his preference? Nah, that can't be it. He's probably just being polite. I am Ariel Enemois Asura, the second princess of the Asura Kingdom. Ariel pinched the edge of her skirt, giving a slow curtsy. Her movements were so graceful I would never be able to imitate them. Nonetheless, the rest of us also introduced ourselves similarly. Cliff and Zenoba conducted themselves in the same refined manner as the other nobility. I was probably the most ignorant of our group when it came to proper etiquette. It's such a pleasure to meet all of you, Silveril responded politely, her voice betraying nothing of her inner emotions. It's been a while, Miss Silveril. Nanahoshi was the last to speak up, nodding her head in greeting. Indeed, Lady Nanahoshi. It's good to see. Well, no. It seems you aren't in very good health, are you? Not at my best, but I'm all right. Their exchange was rather brief, but if the amicable atmosphere was any indication, the two were on good terms. Well then, follow me, everyone. Silveril turned on her heel and strode forward, her footsteps utterly silent. Her head didn't bob as she moved, and her garments were so long that they hit her feet. It was like watching a ghost drift along. Nanahoshi didn't bat an eyelash as she trailed behind Silveril, so the rest of us followed her lead. Silveril took the path that cut straight through the garden. A gate made of stone loomed ahead, one resembling a triumphal arch. As we approached, Zenoba hummed in appreciation. Oh, what a stunning relief! Although he was only really interested in dolls and figures, he was still fairly knowledgeable about other forms of art. Perhaps because they all had something in common. On the other hand, I had no way of judging these kinds of designs. Well, if Zenoba is that impressed, I'm sure it must be pretty incredible. He doesn't normally act so odd about anything that's not a figurine or something similar. I followed his gaze and looked up. Oh, wow. Intricate reliefs were chiseled across the entire surface of the gate, the fine patterns extending even to the underside of the arch. One couldn't resist gawking up at it. We stared as we walked, and Silveril chimed in with an explanation. This gate was created by Abyssal Dragon King Maxwell. Lord Maxwell has a talent for magical construction and craftsmanship. One of his other creations is the holy country of Millis's White Palace. Oh! Zenoba gasped. Silveril paused and turned around. Is something the matter? I must ask, where is Master Maxwell right now? Zenoba's voice came out in a high-pitched squeak as he trembled, his eyes fixed on one particular part of the gate. What was up with him? I had no idea what he was looking at. Lord Maxwell is the wandering type, Silveril answered. Assuming he hasn't already passed away, he is probably out adventuring somewhere. Oh, that is a shame. Such a magnificent man. If only had the chance to meet him. Zenoba could barely contain his excitement. Well, to be honest, it wasn't like he was trying. And there's a picture going, wow, wow. It's good. May we continue? Silveril asked. Oh, yes, of course. My apologies, I was simply moved by the greatness of his work. Truly. In that case, you may find a number of splendid pieces inside the fortress. I hope you'll take your time and enjoy them while you're here. I guess she was smiling beneath that mask. Zenoba scuttled over to me and whispered in my ear, Master, did you see it? I did. This is an enormous discovery. It's good we came. We owe Master Nanahoshi a huge debt of gratitude. What was that? What was this discovery he was going on about? Seems like I wasn't looking at the same part of the relief he was. Sorry, I said. I have no idea what it is you seem to have found. Tell me about it later. Zenoba's face fell. Unbelievable. To think that my master would overlook such a pivotal piece of information. Dejected, he fell in a step behind me. Sorry, I just don't have an artistic eye for things that you do. As we passed through the gate, white particles suddenly started falling from Sophie's body as she walked ahead of me. In fact, those same particles are falling from my body as well. Oh. Silveril paused again, turning to face us. Her mask hid her expression, but her demeanor had noticeably shifted. Is there some kind of problem? I asked timidly. In the past, our Monfi had attacked me out of nowhere. It might happen again. I thought it best to clear up any misunderstandings before that. If we had truly done something to offend her, it would be better for us to leave now rather than fight. There were things I wanted to ask Perugius, but if it meant battling my way to get to him, I would rather go home. No, nothing too important. There are many others just like you across the world. Really? What does she mean by that? It made me nervous. This wasn't going to be like some kind of game show where they dropped the floor under us and I wound up in another force field like before, right? Maybe I should activate my demon eye just in case. However, Silveril continued, would you mind if I asked the two of you one question? That confirmed that something was up with me as well. I had no idea what these falling white particles were, but this felt akin to being held up at a baggage scanner going through airport security. What is it? I asked. Do the words man god mean anything to either of you? I forced my expression to remain blank. Man god. The moment I heard that name, memories of Orsted came rushing back. He had asked me a similar question, and when I answered truthfully, he nearly killed me. Was the same about to happen? I didn't want that. I hesitated. If I told her I knew who that was, it might lead to hostilities. It was true that I danced in the palm of that jerk's hand before, but that he had also helped me out. I had no intention of being one of his henchmen, but I had followed a lot of his advice. As I waffled silently, Sophie answered for the both of us. She shook her head. No, I've never heard of that name before. Then do you feel a deep-seated anger within your heart and an undeniable urge to kill when you hear that name? Sophie quietly shook her head again. I did the same, but the description struck a chord. Orsted had reacted that way when he heard the man god's name. If that bothered them, then maybe that meant Perugius and Orsted were at odds with each other. In that case, I have nothing more to say. Silveril turned away and resumed walking. Naming your floating fortress Chaosbreaker was about the geekiest thing imaginable, but its exterior was admittedly impressive. How in the world did one create a structure this massive? It seemed impossible, and yet there were insanely detailed sculptures scattered about its halls. Each decorative piece spoke of their creator's masterful talents. The interior was every bit as jaw-dropping as I imagined. There were carpets with golden embroidery laid out, the walls were painted, and expensive pottery and statues decorated the corridors. Zenova drank it all in, babbling. The sculpture resembles Ganon's style. Is this his work? And is this statue of an Elangian knight? How fortuitous, being able to see the real thing in person like this. Much to my dismay, he added gushing commentary at every opportunity. Silveril and Ariel humored him at first, but they quickly tired of his enthusiasm and resorted to only strained smiles in response. Normally, another member of our group would join in with his own obnoxious antics. Alas, poor Cliff was so visibly nervous that I pitied him for it. His eyes were peeled wide and his mouth firmly sealed shut, as if he resolved not to utter a word until someone addressed him. Elena Least was pulling him along by the hand, much like a mother dragging their nervous child. Well, it's honestly for the best that the two of them aren't causing a fuss. This is the audience chamber. After guiding us down a long corridor, Silveril stopped by the door at the end. Dragons were painted on either side. The door itself was thick and adorned with silver. It had taken us about an hour to reach this place. This fortress was massive. You almost needed a Segway to navigate the place in a timely manner. Lord Perugius is a very tolerant man, but I would urge you to mind your manners all the same, Silveril cautioned, reaching for the door handle. Shouldn't you knock first? Pardon me, but we're still in our travel garments. Would it not be disrespectful to appear before his lordship like this? Ariel asked in a panic. It was pretty commonplace for nobles and royalty to have people wait in a separate room before welcoming them. People typically use the opportunity to freshen up and change into formal wear. That was how I remembered it in the Chiron kingdom when I met their king. Although I didn't have formal wear at the time, so I went in my dirty robe. Wait, crap. Should I have brought formal wear with me? Lord Perugius is not the type to be concerned with one's manner of dressing. In fact, he found the formality in Asura Kingdom suffocating. I believe you would find his reception more positive if you went in as you are now, instead of changing, said Silveril. I somehow wasn't surprised to hear that. Maybe the whole reason he started living in this floating fortress was because they put him through the ringer in Asura. Still, Ariel pursed her lips. All right, she finally conceded. But could we first store our luggage and our outerwear somewhere at least? Very well. This way, then. Silveril nodded and guided us to a side room. It was as spacious as one of the rooms in my house, but cramped in comparison with how enormous this castle was. There was a table and a cabinet along with a few other furnishings. Despite the decor being more muted than what we'd seen so far, even the hangers and other knickknacks were of high quality. We sincerely appreciate your understanding, said Ariel. Lord Perugius is already waiting, so I recommend haste. Silveril left us with those words. As soon as Ariel was sure Silveril was gone, she began peeling off her jacket. Luke took it from her while Sophie fished a brush out of her luggage and began quickly smoothing out Ariel's hair. Likewise, Anova grabbed a hanger to put his jacket on before pulling something more formal from his bag to take its place. Lena Lease checked over Cliff's clothing and hair. With nothing better to do, I dusted off my robe and adjusted my collar. I didn't have any formal wear, but clothes weren't really what mattered. It was the intention. If Silveril recommended we meet Perugius in our everyday casual wear, that was what I would do. Likewise, Nanahoshi just stood there and watched the rest. The only effort she exerted in her appearance was smoothing out her bangs. Hey, wait a minute. She's in her school uniform. All right. Once everyone finished, Sophie slipped off her sunglasses and we were all good to go. In the space of 10 minutes, Ariel had drastically changed her appearance. Just taking off her outer garments and smoothing out her hair was enough to leave her looking radiant. Maybe part of being royalty is honing your ability to gussy up in mere minutes. My apologies for the wait. Not at all. This way. Silveril didn't seem the least bit at phase as she led us back to the door with the dragon crest carved into it. Perugius waited within. The thought made my entire body tense. Ariel let out a deep exhale as the door swung open. Chapter 2, an audience with Perugius. The man atop the throne exuded a commanding presence. He had brilliant silver hair and golden pupils that were small yet piercing. There was an air of royalty about him. So this is Armored Dragon King Perugius. My legs began quaking the moment I laid eyes upon him. I instantly knew what it was that frightened me. He looked eerily similar to the man with silver hair who killed me, whom I would never forget. True, their clothing, hairstyles, and facial features were all different, but there was something unmistakably similar about Perugius and Dragon God Orsted. Step forward, Silveril commanded. Nanahoshi led the group, with Ariel right behind her. I went after them as if to hide from view. The chamber was vast, with a tall ceiling and pillars that resembled massive trees. A dazzling chandelier cast light down on us. The extravagance almost unhinged my jaw. The walls were strung with banners painted with complex emblems. Some I recognized, such as the crest for Asura Kingdom and the Holy Country Milis. Others looked familiar, but there were some I had never seen before. 11 men and women lined either side of the velvet rug we were traversing. They were all clad in pure white, with only the designs of their outfits differing slightly, but each one wore a different mask. Some were fashioned after animals, and others only covered their eyes, resembling the visor that Cyclops from X-Men wore. Oh, okay. Another wore a helmet that made him look like some kind of robot cop, and someone else had what almost looked like a bucket on their head. These had to be Perugius's 12 familiars, not that the word really fit, since they all looked like humans. Uramanfi, however, had been Ghislaine's match in combat. That probably meant that all of them had powers on the same level as a Sword King. I definitely did not want to make enemies of them. I better be really careful about how I speak, just to be on the safe side. Please stop there, said Silveril, Nanahoshi's frozen place. Oh, excuse me. The throne was 2 small stairs and 10 steps away from where we were standing. Perugius gazed silently down upon us. More to the point, I was pretty sure he was looking at me. Our eyes seemed to meet, and a chill ran through me. Silveril slowly walked past our group and made her way up the stairs, taking her place to the right of Perugius. Hermanfi was on his left. The rest of the familiars lined up on either side of us. Perugius kept his gaze fixed on us as he drawled. I am the armored dragon king, Perugius Dola. He said Dola! As in the air pirates? Wait, no. Castle in the Sky has nothing to do with this. It's been a while, Lord Perugius. I came, as I promised. Nanahoshi lowered her head while she spoke. It was rare for her to bow like that and speak so respectfully. I noticed Ariel was doing the same while Luke and Sylphie were down on one knee. I hesitated over how I should show respect, but decided on a regular old bow. Japanese style! So you have returned, Nanahoshi. There was something so powerful and intimidating about his voice that I felt a chill run down my back. Fear threatened to swallow me whole. It had such a grip on my heart that I struggled to draw air. Sweat trickled down my forehead. This is kinda incredible. It's like he really is a king. I assume that must mean you have found some way to summon things from another world. Yes, said Nanahoshi. I'm not sure if the results are what you desired, however. It is the pursuit of knowledge that gives purpose to we dragonfolk, not the achievements themselves. Wait, dragonfolk? So he's one of the dragon people? I had never really put much thought into it before, but it made sense. Dragon god, armored dragon king. They weren't humans. They were dragonfolk. Now it made sense why Orsted and Perugius resembled each other. They were the same species. Unruffled, Nanahoshi continued her conversation with Perugius, who was surprisingly friendly with her. At least the times he spent cooped up in his castle hadn't turned him into a crotchety old man. As we agreed, I would like you to teach me about the summoning magic in this world. Very well, he said. The two of them must have made a deal with each other long before this. Nanahoshi would study how to summon objects from another world, and once her labor bore fruit, she would share what she discovered with Perugius. In turn, he would teach her about the mysteries of summoning magic in this world. By the way, this is quite the large group you have brought with you. Who are these people? Actually, they helped me with my research. I brought them to visit you as a reward for their help. Oh, Perugius let out a bored sigh. Calling it a reward didn't quite sit right with me, but she wasn't entirely wrong. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ariel said, stepping forward. I am Ariel Enemoa Asura, second princess of the Asura kingdom. I am most honored to be in the presence of one as great as yourself, my lord. Ariel Enemoa Asura, you say? Yes. I hope we can get to know each other better soon, he snorted. I already know who you are. You lost in that filthy, underhanded battle for the crown they're having in Asura, but you refused to concede. Instead, you're dragging everyone around you into the muddy waters of conflict. Foolish girl. Luke's head snapped up, anger strained in his expression. But before he could do anything, Ariel held up a hand to stay him. She kept her voice even as she replied. That's a harsh way of looking at it, but you are correct. Her lips curled into a soft smile as she stared back at him, unflinching. I assume you came here hoping I would lend you my strength. Not at all. You're a world-renowned hero. I simply wanted to meet you. I can see right through your act. As always, her voice oozed charisma, but her face had drained of all color. A cold sweat beaded across her skin. Perugius had read her like an open book, and he clearly didn't have a good impression of her. She was struggling to cope. Perugius stared down at her, smirking as if he were mocking an ill-behaved child. But you did come here. That must also be fate. I will give you a chance. You may stay here in my castle. I am humbled by your generosity. Ariel bowed once before retreating. Her expression dissolved in relief, but there was still anxiety in her eyes. Well then, what about you? After Ariel stepped back, Perugius's gaze shifted to me. It was as though he considered me in a second rank in rank next to her. Then I looked at the rest and I realized everyone else was on one knee. The only ones standing were Nanahoshi, Ariel, and me. It was only natural that his attention would be drawn to me next. I put a hand over my chest and bowed my head again. A pleasure to meet you. My name is Rudius Greyrat. Rudius Greyrat. He spoke my name as if he were chewing it over. I had a lot of trouble teleporting you here. I tilted my head in confusion. Normally, when using teleportation magic, you can't call upon someone with greater mana than your own. He scowled. Your mana closely resembles that of Lapis. If you were determined to resist me, I likely couldn't have teleported you at all. Well, I apologize for the trouble. Lapis was a demon god that Perugius sealed away 400 years ago. Every time someone appraised my magic, they always brought him up. I guess our mana must be really similar. No matter, but I would warn you against trying to use that repulsive magic of yours in my castle. I wouldn't dream of it, I said. It was like he was trying to talk me down from trying anything stupid. No, it was more than that. It was a warning. But why was he so wary of me? I wasn't the type to go berserk for no reason. I wouldn't even go berserk if I had a reason. Maybe he remembers what happened just before the displacement incident. Specifically the part where Aramanfi tried to kill me. Maybe he thought I held a grudge and this was his request to treat it as water under the bridge. If this is about what happened before the displacement incident, I don't hold anything against you, so... What are you talking about? Perugius cocked his head. Aramanfi appeared beside him in the blink of an eye, whispering the specifics into his ear. Now I remember. There was a boy trying to cast magic in the sky, one protected by a sword king. So, that boy was you. So he didn't remember. Well, that meant I just dug myself deeper. Bringing it up out of nowhere was like announcing I had a grudge. At least they didn't seem to hold it against me. I hadn't done anything wrong after all. Had I? Rudius Greyrat, from what I hear, is also the name of the person who managed to injure Orsted. If by injure he meant I gave Orsted the equivalent of a paper cut, then sure. He and Orsted must be acquaintances for him to know that much. Figured that this was the case. Orsted was the only common link between Nanahoshi and the king of this floating castle. Looks like I was right. Those with talent like you get overconfident in your abilities at times. Being able to conjure or injure the dragon god no doubt gave you an inflated sense of self-esteem. However, if you choose to fight me, death is all that awaits. In that instant, his familiars began radiating bloodlust. Please stop. I don't want to fight any of you. I only came here to learn about Zenith's illness and learn a little bit of summoning magic. Perhaps Perugius was under the mistaken impression that I fought Orsted as an equal, and that was how I wounded him. Still, he had 12 familiars here. I knew what their abilities were, more or less, but only from what I read in books. That wasn't the same as seeing them in action on the battlefield. Plus, numbers are always a huge advantage in a fight. That was what made zombies so terrifying. They were weak on their own, but in large numbers they could easily overwhelm you. If Aramanfi was any indication, they were also all capable, or as capable as Ghislaine at least. To say nothing of the abilities that Perugius himself possessed. No doubt he was strong too. It was no way I could survive taking all of them on. I had no intention of doing so either. Of course I have no intention of trying to oppose you, Lord Perugius, I said. A wise decision. I like clever people. The foolish only blind others, but the intelligent help each other grow. In other words, clever people were those who didn't oppose him. I certainly didn't think of myself as the intelligent type, but I was at least smart enough to not pick a fight with him. Lord Perugius, Nanahoshi cut in, if I may, his enormous mana pool has been of great help in my research. He's no enemy. Couldn't you please treat him a bit more kindly? I knew I could count on you to step in. Yeah, you're exactly right. I have no interest in making enemies. Let's play nice with each other. Perugius nodded. Very well. I'll be kind then, since you helped Nanahoshi. What is it you desire in return? Money? Or is it power you seek? His voice was flat, as if he was bored with the conversation now. He had agreed to treat me as a guest at least, but were people generally so hostile with someone they'd only just met? It seemed especially off-putting since I was being so deferential. No matter, I might as well ask him the question I had been waiting on my mind. If I may, I have one thing I'd like to ask. What? It's about my mother's illness. I proceeded to explain the details of Zena's condition. I see. He nodded after I'd finished speaking. I have heard there are old labyrinths out there that take people captive. That person becomes the heart of the labyrinth, allowing it to function. The mana that flows through them as a result transforms them. They all lose their memories, without exception, and in return, their body is infused with a mysterious power. A mysterious power? I echoed, confused. I believe you call such people a cursed child, or a blessed child. So Zenith had a curse on her then? One where she could never cry nor laugh? Why do these labyrinths use people, though? I do not know. There is a theory that the ancient demons gave birth to these labyrinths and their creature in a quest to create a paradise for themselves. The magic crystal at the center of those labyrinths is supposed to distribute mana to all of its inhabitants. There, they can thrive without ever going hungry. Wouldn't be surprising if these older labyrinths take humans captive to increase their efficiency. So the ancient demons tried to create a paradise where they'd never starve? Come to think of it, there were a bunch of monsters in the teleportation labyrinth. The place was practically infested by those creepy devouring devils. I'd wondered what they could be feasting on in those tunnels, but this explanation made sense. But wait a second. Roxy said she was running out of mana in the labyrinth. So obviously it's an overstatement to say it feeds mana to those who inhabit it. Unless monsters have some way to absorb mana from empty space or something. Well, none of that really mattered right now. Zenith was my priority. Do you know of any way to heal my mother? I don't know the specifics myself. However, Perugius's voice trailed off as he shot a look at someone behind me. There is a woman whose fate followed a similar path. One who is still alive today. If it's information you seek, she would be the most knowledgeable. The most knowledgeable. I followed my gaze, or his gaze, to the elf in our group with dazzling blonde hair. Elena Lee slowly lifted her head. Elena Lee's Dragon Road. One of my companions saved you from our labyrinth about 200 years ago. Yes, that's right, she said. You are the elven woman who lost her memories. I met you once before. You certainly have grown since then. Have you forgotten me? No, I haven't. She averted her gaze from me, an awkward expression on her face. What in the world was going on? Did this mean Elena Lise had been through the same thing? Someone else had rescued her from a labyrinth 200 years ago? Wait, hold on a minute, I hadn't known about this. Why haven't you spoken to him about it? Said Perugius. Since the two of you are here together, I assume you must be acquainted. Yes, but you experienced it for yourself. You know more about it than anyone else would. His words quieted her protest for a moment, but she remained resolute the next she spoke. I never recovered my memories. I didn't say anything because I thought Zenith's case might be different. Her face contorted in pain despite how bravely she spoke. Cliff gently wrapped an arm around her shoulder. I was too confused to speak. Sure, I didn't think Elena Lise had acted a bit strange back then, but I never dreamed such a thing that happened or had happened to her in the past as well. I'm sorry. I felt like I needed to tell you, but you've been so happy lately that I hesitated to bring it up. Besides, Zenith's curse isn't a danger to her life. I thought perhaps she was a blessed child, or that maybe she'd recover and there would be no adverse side effects at all. She continued babbling excuses, and it was all I could do to muster the strength to do or to say, "We can discuss this further afterward." Or, "We can discuss this further afterward." All right. I had no intention of blaming her, really. She may not have shared her backstory, but she gave quite a bit of advice on Zenith's condition when we were on the Begaric continent. At the time, I thought she was just sharing wisdom she'd accumulated over the years, but apparently she was speaking from personal experience. Knowing Lena Lise, she probably had her reasons. Maybe she thought Zenith might be different, or that she might regain her memories. Or perhaps she didn't want to twist the knife after I already lost Paul. She only kept it to herself out of consideration for me, I was sure. Still, I did wish she had said a little more about the curse that Zenith might be afflicted with. Is there anything else? Perugius asked, disinterested. I shook my head. No. The conversation only lasted minutes, but it left me as exhausted as we'd been talking for hours. There was still more I wanted to ask. About summoning magic, for example, or Laplace's war or the displacement incident. But my brain was so full, I couldn't fit any more information in, even if I wanted to. What about the rest of you? Is there anything you desire? Zenoba rose to his feet. Would you permit me to ask a question? And you are? I apologize for not introducing myself sooner. I am Zenoba Chiron, third prince of the Chiron Kingdom. A prince. And do you also desire my support so that you might take your country's throne? No, such a thing has no value to me at all, Zenoba replied without missing a beat. He slipped a small notebook from his pocket. There was a crest drawn on the surface, one I recognized. Wait a minute. That's the one we saw in my basement, on the dollmaker's blueprints. This crest resembles your own as well as that of Lord Maxwell. I see there are other similar crests on that wall over there. Do you know to whom this one belongs? I followed his gaze to the wall covered in numerous crests. Several of them looked familiar. One of them was the same one I'd seen carved on the monument for the Seven Great Powers. Another belonged to Dragon God Orsted. Another was carved into a magical implement that helped keep the teleportation ruins hidden. Judging by the incantation we had to use for it, the crest likely belonged to the Holy Dragon Emperor Shirad. The one beside it was the same crest drawn in Zenoba's notebook. I do know it. That belongs to the Maniacal King, or Dragon King Chaos. Oh! Aha, so that's the thing that Zenoba saw at the gate. He must have seen Maxwell's crest there and realized its similarity to the one on the blueprints. Naturally, he assumed the two must be linked somehow. Incredible. I'm impressed. Zenoba stepped forward, unable to tamp down his euphoria at the discovery. Might I ask where this maniacal dragon god Chaos is now? Brogius shook his head. He's dead. He passed away a couple of decades ago. I don't know if he has a successor. The notebook slipped right between Zenoba's finger, landing on the floor. His shoulders slumped. Is that so? In an instant, his face looked as if it had aged 5 years. That was saying something, because Zenoba already looked way older than he was. Perugius slid forward in his seat. By the by, where did you come across that crest? Zenoba continued to look dejected as he answered. Oh, I found this in my master's house, in a rundown estate in the magic city of Sharia. It was drawn on some blueprints for an automated doll. An automated doll, you say? Perugius nodded to himself. And how was the doll? Incredible? Oh, yes, more than words can express. The detail and the craftsmanship was utterly enchanting. You could tell just by looking at it how great the creator's love for dolls was. I share the same fondness, so I could feel the depths of his adoration myself. A smile stretched across Perugius' face all the way to his eyes. It seems you have an appreciation for the arts. That pleases me. I have a number of Chaos's works in my treasury. I will show them to you later. His voice was so gentle I could not believe this was the same man who had spoken so gruffly with me only minutes before. Why was Zenoba getting special treatment? Not that I really cared, honestly. You honor me! Zenoba's face lit up as he sank to the floor, prostrating himself. Obviously, he was as happy as Perugius. Better yet, he had won the Dragon King's favor. I envied him for that. I wanted to do the same. Is there anything else? Perugius asked. Sophie's hand shot up. Yes, I have something. I mean, if you wouldn't mind, there's something I would like to ask. She awkwardly bowed. And you are? Sophie Greyrat, wife to Rudius Greyrat and a bodyguard of Princess Ariel. Silveril leaned over, whispering something to Perugius's ears. The man grunted. His mood soured. So it was both of you, he muttered. As in Sophie and me? Had the two of us done something to upset him? Sophie did have quite the mana pool, but it wasn't as vast as my own. Did it maybe bother him that she once had green hair in the past? Before I answer your question, I want you two to answer something for me. Do the two of you have a son? His query was so out of nowhere that Sophie hesitated for a moment, confused. She slowly shook her head. Huh? No. I have a daughter, though. Very well. If you should ever give birth to a boy, bring him before me. I will name him for you. All right. He gave a thin, eerie smile. Well, that's mildly discomforting. Was he implying there would be something wrong with our child if we had a boy? Or was he looking to give our son some super quirky name? This was the man who named his castle Chaosbreaker, after all. Now then, Perugius cleared his throat. What is your question? I would like to ask you about the displacement incident. Do you happen to know who caused it? That was something I hadn't thought about lately. The displacement incident was what teleported Nanahoshi here from Japan. It only made sense that magic powerful enough to rip someone from their own dimension would have some kind of recoil. In my case, I just happened to reincarnate here, but perhaps the laws of physics or magic here were different when someone else came here with their original body. Of course, The opposite could be true. Maybe someone was trying to accomplish something else, and the recoil of their magic happened to summon Nanahoshi instead, which meant the whole thing was just an accident. I haven't confirmed anything for certain. At the time, I suspected it was the doing of someone connected to Lapis, but... He glanced over at Nanahoshi before continuing. Even I'm not capable of summoning someone like her, and if I'm not able to, no one else in this world is. Which means that calamity wasn't man-made. It was an accident. I thought as much. It was possible that someone more capable at summoning magic than Perugius was responsible, like Orsted. Although it would be rude to suspect a culprit behind things when Perugius had already definitively stated there wasn't one. I'll just keep my thoughts to myself. I don't feel like tickling. I don't feel like ticking this guy off any more than I already have. Oh, all right, then. Thank you. While I was considering differing possibilities in my head, Sophie lowered her eyes and ended the conversation. Anyone else? Perugius asked again this time no one answered. Elena Elise kept her eyes glued to the floor, and Cliff was too nervous to even move. As for the others, Ariel was already ducked away, and Luke was still quietly kneeling. In that case, enjoy your stay here in my fine fortress. He gave an exaggerated nod, and our audience with him was over. Whoa, Jesus Christ, hold on, I need water for that. Bouncing between him and Zenoba's voices was a trip.
Oh yeah, I bet. It's not. He's not a character to be taken lightly.
It's like, okay, I'm going Sephiroth to Goofy, Sephiroth to Goofy, Sephiroth to Goofy. Let's go.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Sephiroth, big fan.
It wasn't
Gosh,
Goofy, but I was
big
like,
fan. I'm a big
I guess it was
fan
more
of all this art. Who made
All
these
the
lovely,
darkness.
lovely
And
dolls?
Sephiroth's like,
Master.
and Sephiroth's like, wow, you are amusing. I do love
I
the works
see.
of Walt
I
Disney and
actually
his
do.
old cartoons.
I
My
like
like
it.
shit out
master
of
makes
your
some
work
of the
as
best
well.
dolls you've ever seen.
Quite honestly, if Sephiroth wasn't trying to kill them all in Kingdom Hearts,
Right?
yeah, I could see that happening.
It's-
He'd probably be
yeah,
like
no,
You've got
mildly
good
amused by him.
Sephiroth
great.
voice. You've got good Sephiroth voice there. Yeah.
Oh,
I
thanks.
could easily see
Mhm.
Sephiroth just like looking at Goofy like, big fan, and then just
'Cause-
walking off. It's like, oh my gosh,
Oh gosh, oh, I'm a big
Gosh,
fan.
I didn't realize.
I heard
It's
you
like,
like
oh my
fruit.
God.
I heard you like fruit. Shall I give you despair?
Despair. Yeah. This is not
a
large fruit salad. Shall I give you despair? Yeah, something like that.
Oh boy, it's like you
Despair.
said
Oh
the
boy,
lines,
a pear.
Oh boy, I sure do love
Mhm.
pears.
I sure do love pears.
It's
Yeah.
like he takes it literally. Like, thanks for the pear. It's like he.
I
actually gives
consider
you
it
one.
canon.
It's my appearance. Yeah, okay.
Ah.
It's
Very
like
good.
it's
Talking
only
like
Goofy that-
talking, yeah, exactly. Talking like the Martians and freaking Mars Attacks.
Yeah,
And then somehow it turns. into
that's you were slightly channeling Popeye, where Sonic was. Yeah.
I got Mr. Krabs. Yeah.
No, see, Mr. Krabs is. He's got a little bit more
Yeah.
like throat. Popeye's is. You know, he's higher. You know.
Oh, like more in the nose, a little more.
You know, yeah. It's like upper nasally. Mr. Krabs is, you know, like more throat. Mr. Krabs is down.
Boy,
Mr.
Popeye is up.
Krabs, you heard it here,
For
ladies
work.
and gentlemen. Mr. Krabs is a throat goat.
Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs, why do you have to be the throat goat? I'm sure Squidward has said that at one point in his
Mr.
life.
Krabs,
Oh,
we
dear
have
God.
been here for 50
SpongeBob,
hours.
me boy.
You're 2 seconds late for work. Even
Jesus
my
Christ.
bags have bags, Mr. Krabs.
Jesus Christ. Good.
Dear God, how
2 thumbs up.
horrifying.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my Squidward voice away over here and tuck it away.
Christ, how horrifying.
That's a good SpongeBob.
Dende watching
Yeah.
SpongeBob at the
That does
lighthouse.
kinda sound like
Jesus
it,
Christ,
yeah.
how
My
horrifying.
name
Yeah.
is Dende. Yeah.
I'd
Oh,
like to nestle between them.
They look lovely.
I wish to nestle between them. You were
talking about Silver Rose
adorable.
wings.
Just
Okay,
adorable.
understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Bird girl. All right,
A
she might be
bird
like
girl?
an angel or something. Yeah, she might be a bird. I don't know. One of the beast folk.
Time to bird up.
Oh, silver
Bird,
reel.
yeah. Let me see. All right.
And his name is Seth.
I guess they get to hang out in Universal Studios for a while. That's nice.
Oh, well.
Maybe not, though. It's probably not.
Okay.
There are red flags all over the place. I do not like this place.
Crimson.
Its smug aura mocks me, Charlie.
What the fuck?
Silveril. Sorry, that was a Always Sunny reference. I do not like this portrait, Charlie. Its smug aura mocks me.
I
I'm
just
like, I'm just sitting there like, I'm sitting there thinking Charlie the Unicorn.
No, like Charlie Day. Yeah.
No, I got you now,
Yeah.
but you had me thinking Charlie the Unicorn a second ago, and I'm like,
It's
damn.
a magical Leoplerodon, Charlie.
Welcome back to Candyman, Charlie.
Yeah.
We're going
God,
to
that's
Candy Mountain,
fucking-
Charlie. We're going to Candy Mountain.
Oh,
Ancient
hell
internet.
no.
Oh god, it aged like fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Remember seeing that when it was
I
like
just-
fresh and new.
Yeah.
Oh my god. My brain.
I
my
like to
eyes.
imagine going back to the its smug aura like mocks me. It's like Goofy is taking Sephiroth on a tour of Disney World. He just gets
And
there
here's
for
where they
one parti-
And
here's where they film the minions.
And
Fascinating.
like
this,
this-
and this is where Kirby rests. Don't let him eat
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Most fascinating. Thank
and
you for
this
the
is
tour,
where we
Goofy.
sign the papers to get Star Wars.
Jesus, to
Right
get
here,
a
this-
Star
No,
Wars.
no,
Star-
no.
Like from
that
the
was
store.
not done at Disney. That was not done at Disney. That was at Lucasfilm. That was at Skywalker
Sorry, I
Ranch.
just
I know.
the
but
way
it's
that he
fun. I
said
didn't
that
think
is
that
to
way.
get a
Get
Star
the-
Wars
How
like
dare
from the
you.
store.
Get a singular Star Wars. We went and bought one Star Wars.
We bought one Phantom Menace.
we
I
bought
would like
Specifically
I
one.
would like
We
one
bought
Star
one
Wars,
copy
please.
from it.
One Phantom Menace, please.
Dude. Okay. To be fair, I would absolutely understand Phantom Menace. That like going back and relooking at that, the lightsaber fights in that were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was
I
the best
enjoyed.
part of
Not
the
only
movie.
that, but there's a
You didn't
reason
like
why
the
it's
pod
called-
racing?
Oh no, I love the pod racing.
I was gonna say you didn't
I
like.
can appreciate it now. I can appreciate
Or-
it now. I couldn't then.
Rawr. Those are my favorite things, man.
Dude, I was surrounded by all the
They're
haters.
funny.
Like,
Really?
yeah, like
I was too young to remember, but I think I remember my mom coming home with one of those like Taco Bell like popcorn cap things of Anakin and the pod
yeah.
racer thing. I think that's
Oh.
what it was or where it was. My mom had one of those, and then I don't know what happened to it. It's kind of cool though.
Things.
Yeah, I don't know if
happened
it was though. Yeah, it probably got like disappeared or something, or mom sold it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it got disappeared.
I remember having it,
all the
though.
way.
Yeah.
I remember the first movie I ever watched.
It's
Star Wars
working.
Was
It's
episode
working.
2.
Yeah, dude.
And now I look back at that, I can't help but cringe.
There's a reason it's called the
It's
Duel
just
of the
like-
Fates because that
Listen.
lightsaber duel literally decided the fate of Anakin Skywalker.
Ah,
If
that's
Qui-Gon
true.
hadn't died, he would not have become Vader.
That's
or
true.
if it was Kenobi who died instead of There's a lot of what ifs.
I'm sure there are-
Like, what
yeah.
if
Dude,
Kenobi died
my favorite little thing about that duel is when they are when the energy barriers come up and block all three of them.
Mhm.
Like Obi-Wan is like restlessly bouncing from heel to heel.
Like trying to get to.
Maul
Qui-Gon
is
as fast as
pacing.
possible.
Maul is pacing all over the place, and then Qui-Gon literally sits down and meditates to conserve energy, and it's like just seeing the physical representation. Nobody had to say a effing word, and that was
yeah.
just beautiful. Like, here's the thing.
Wow.
George isn't great about directing dialogue, but when you give his
You're breaking my
actors
heart, Anakin.
when you give his actors a chance to like just exist in this world without speaking and just allow their expressions or their physical actions to do the emoting for them, oh my god, you realize the insane
Like,
cast.
Let them cook.
they have,
Let the
yeah.
actors cook.
I mean, case in point, I may not have liked a lot of the stuff in the Obi-Wan show, but one of my favorite things was at the very end where Qui-Gon shows up and he's just that cheeky Jedi Master again. He was like, I was always here, Obi-Wan.
Where the hell have
just
you been? All
lack
this
the will to
time?
listen. I was like, it's like I was always
You just
here,
were
dude.
too weak.
You were dealing with your PTSD blocked you from using the Force.
You were also dealing with a war, but apparently that
You were
didn't stop
getting in
you
your
from coming to
own
me now,
way.
didn't it? Like, I was fighting with a war. Qui-Gon? Oh, well, that doesn't stop you now.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm.
That would be a funny, like, after, like, a post-credit thing, or post-like scene where it's like, he just gives him so much shit, like, now you fight, like he's a weird
No.
ex-girlfriend or
That what
something.
that all that does is it just reminds me of the was it the series where they have Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan reacting to
Yeah,
like
that's
Star
kinda what I
Wars
was
stuff. That's
referencing.
exactly what it feels like with like the
Hello.
deep fake technology. Oh hi.
Hello. I do remember there was a animation for that where it's like Kenobi's like, all right, I'm gonna go fight General Grievous. I'll see you later, Anakin. It's like, see you later,
Yeah.
Master. You're not gonna kill anyone when I'm gone, are you? What? I don't know. I just have this weird feeling if I leave you now, something's gonna happen. And it's like, I promise it's not gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna go off. And then he gets back to the Jedi Temple. Anakin.
No, my favorite thing is literally like
to pick up
there's this crazy animation with the sequel trilogy, and my favorite bit about it is literally like it's Ben like talking to Vader's helmet, and then the Force Ghost of Anakin appears, and he's like, "What the fuck? What? Why are you this way? Like, this makes no goddamn sense. You're trying to talk to me. I'm Anakin Skywalker, you dippy." I was like, yeah. So he literally just comes in and starts talking to him and setting him straight. And I'm just like, that's awesome. We need more of that. More of this, please.
Yeah. I think it's more. I think it's just as much fun to like make fun of Star Wars as it is to actually watch it.
Depends on
Like,
how it's done, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm
not
looking
everyone's
forward
gonna do a
to
perfect job.
what's gonna happen with Lucasfilm now, because they're getting co-presidents, and
Nice.
looks like LucasArts is going back to making video games instead of handing it off to like EA and Ubisoft or whoever.
Oh, so they took the reins again.
They took the reins back, which is why you have an independent
3.
studio. Which is why you have an independent studio going through and making the next Old Republic game right now.
Wish them the best of luck.
Oh, yeah.
The independent studio is working with Casey Hudson, who did the original Knights of the Old Republic and the Mass Effect trilogy. So, yeah, the entire fan base has a shit ton of hope right now.
Well, hopefully the ending's not bad. Mass Effect 3, but.
I know everybody rightfully blames EA for that.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, EA was rushing Mass Effect 3 so hard because they wanted their multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 to get put out, because it was the first time that they put out a multiplayer in that game, and they were so eager for that. And yeah, it did them no good.
This is what happens when you rush.
And I mean, they forcibly tied their multiplayer to their freaking
EA Play thing. Like
no, EA Play wasn't a thing back then. They tied the multiplayer to the campaign. Depending on your galactic readiness from the campaign of the game, that would determine, or depending on how much you played the multiplayer would give you, because just doing the basic in-game stuff would only get you about like 50% of the way to your readiness, so you would fail the final mission on Earth if you did not have your galactic readiness up, or you'd lose a lot of your allies in the final mission. So
that sounds really dumb.
Yeah, it's really dumb, and they tied it to their multiplayer. So you had to play their stupid multiplayer in order to... Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. All right.
Yeah,
we'll
it be what it
now,
be.
I guess.
Okay.
Here's give him a brief synopsis. Let Moon know what he missed.
Okay, so
Cliff
last
notes.
stream I was reading
In a nutshell.
What was it? Nanahoshi transported melon. There was much rejoicing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was it? Eris is learning the water god style from the water god master and her disciple.
Yeah, she's getting her ass beat by the water god.
No
Disciple.
context. Pokemon, water, grass, fire, what was it? Type
There's a
weakness
third
combos.
person training, yeah, basically.
Yeah, there's a third person training with Eris and her friend, and basically, Eris can beat her friend. Her friend can beat the new disciple, and the disciple can beat Eris, and they're in like a triangle like war with each.
It's
not
a paper,
war,
rock,
but they're learning from
scissors,
each
or a
other.
Mexican standoff,
Mhm.
or a Mexican standoff.
Water, fire,
And-
grass.
Yeah, it's basically that. But and then after Rudius and
Praise
them
Arceus.
celebrated, praise Arceus. They celebrated
Praise Arceus.
what was it? Nanahoshi summoning the watermelon. And then Nanahoshi was like, "Wow! Now that I know how to do that, I can report to the guy who taught me some of the summoning magic." And he's like, "Who's that?" Lord
Perugius.
Perugius of the floating.
So
fortress.
the guy,
Okay.
yeah, the guy in the big flying fortress.
Yeah.
We-
So they basically went up there, asked him a few questions. There were some sus things happening. Perugius is not very nice to Rudius, a little bit not to Sylphie.
He's not very nice to the princess. There's a
Yeah, that
reason.
too.
I can't go into why. You'll find out soon. But
Yeah.
like in the next book or two, you'll find out why it is that Perugius kind of looks at. It's not just Rudy; it's also Sylvie, and
Mhm.
there's a reason for that. And
Yeah.
Let's just
there's,
say that
there's some things going on.
let's just say that him being one of the dragon people, he knows like a lot of stuff that's been there for a long, long time that other
Yeah.
people don't remember anymore because it didn't get passed down. But yeah,
Mhm. He also
And-
said if he has a son to bring him to him, so
yeah,
he can
which-
name him.
yeah, that is something. And then we get we also know that he and the dragon god Orsted are friends.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and he did also bring up the whole
Possibly
do
roommates?
you know? No, not roommates, no.
I was gonna-
He did also bring up the whole thing of does the name man god mean anything to you? And he was like, and Rudius was
Like,
like,
oh,
yeah, I'm gonna
shit.
shut the fuck up this time.
Last
Nice.
time I almost
He
died,
learned.
so-
He
Yeah,
did.
he did.
He's like,
That he
I'm
did.
like
Because
he
last time he got his
focused.
fucking
he-
lungs punched out
He
for it.
focused all of his shit. He focused all of his shit on just trying to keep his expression neutral.
Yeah.
Not
And
only that,
not even
but
anymore.
Perugius has the mistaken idea that Rudius is overconfident because he managed to wound Orsted, and
Yeah.
and Rudius is like, nah, my guy, I put a scratch on him. I don't feel happy about that.
Yep.
I barely.
I put a scratch on him. He
with
put a
my
hole
life.
through me.
Yeah.
And they
Maybe
took the
Exactly.
same amount of effort.
Yeah.
And I took
So-
that personally.
So there's some
the two of us
tension.
are not in the same league.
Yeah.
And I took
And,
that
and
shit
Rudius
personally.
is just like, I just want to know what happened to my mom, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
He did
Yeah.
ask about that,
And then
and
there's Nova.
that's the other thing. It
Yeah.
the dungeon has turned her into, you can either call it a bless or a cursed child.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
does she wait? So does she have her memories back?
No.
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 Fuck.
And the other very, very important thing, we learned that the same thing happened to Lynn Elise. She never got her
Yep.
memories back, and
That's a huge thing.
she was also trapped in the dungeon. So now is something starting to make sense about her sexual proclivities and her saying that it's a curse.
Yeah, so it was like a lingering thing.
Yeah,
So it
is.
wasn't just something the author wrote in as a haha funny trope. It's like nope.
No, that's legit a thing. Now,
Yep.
I will say no two people are cursed the same. That's as
Mhm.
far as I will go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to pick up some pieces.
Just how
yeah.
there's like just how like no two blessed children have the same blessed
Mhm.
ability, no two cursed children will have the same cursed ability. To be
Perugius
fair
also
though,
dropped that the go ahead.
oh, to be fair though, like she is kind of like from the time in the dungeon, it did kind of change her in a little way. Like she is, I think she is kind of magically imbued and maybe has a little power. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually a thing that they were hinting at or not, but
Yeah.
It seemed that way based on the
Could be.
conversation. I'm not 100% sure if that's what they were trying to go with it. Sorry, you were
Maybe.
saying something.
Oh no, I was just also mentioning that Perugius also dropped that the displacement incident wasn't an intentional thing. He thinks that
Yeah.
it was an accident.
Mm.
So that it wasn't done intentionally, and that brought Nanahoshi to the world. Just something happened.
God
So-
only knows. Well, all right. So
But we don't know for sure.
we're gonna
I
we're
don't
gonna
know. He
have to
says
wait
it's an
till
accident.
we're gonna have to wait till book, I think 15 or 16, whatever it is. We're gonna get some more answers soon. But yeah. Also, I read at the beginning of the show, I read the chapter titles.
Uh-huh.
So towards the end of the book, we are getting Turning Point Part 4.
Yeah, so shit is happening.
This is
in
that
volume.
book. This
A
is
lot of
that
shit is
book.
happening in this volume, I think.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've caught him up, we can continue on. Yay! Or
Yeah.
wait, actually,
So-
hold on. It's 9:44. Do we want to stop here
We
then?
How we
Or
feeling?
Stop
Star Wars.
early? Huh?
I mean, we could. Yeah, we're right at an asterisk, so I mean, we could stop here,
We're writing
or
goofy.
we can continue.
Like,
I got water to continue, but I'm fine
We
stopping
goofed
if you're
around
ready.
Too
All right.
much.
How do you guys?
So-
well, no. We to be fair, he read for a long time. That wasn't us
yeah.
goofing around. Like he read for a while.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to because it's a pretty heavy moment. Like,
Yeah.
and I was telling them I had to bounce back between Zenoba and what I think is Perugius's voice, which is kind of Sephiroth-y. So it was wild.
I think it will be kind of like built old man in a way, but that's just
You think so?
based on where the Japanese tend to go with things. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair because I have no idea what he looks like. So my brain, I thought, he's like a Final Fantasy.
You don't know what
like,
no. Okay, hold
protag.
on. Look at the stream if you can.
Okay.
That shows what Perugius
Oh, the
looks
cover.
like.
Okay.
Yeah,
so the cover. I see.
look at the not necessarily the cover, but the other art on there. The
Ew.
art afterwards, it shows Perugius sitting on his little
Oh,
chair.
he's got the chiseled. Okay, I see.
Yeah, he's like several hundred years old. Like
Okay, never mind then.
this dude fought in the Lapis War like 400 or 500 years ago.
Okay. In my
It's
brain,
weird
I
to
kind of
think
pictured
this-
him like,
It's weird to think this, my
700
guy, but
years.
he's older than Regerd.
oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
And-
so he
that's
really
why-
really
And
old.
probably one of the few demons. Regerd is probably one of the few demons he would allow an audience with because he did fight beside him. They both fought against Lapis. So there you go.
Okay.
Who knows?
I see.
Oh yeah, Blebby.
So he
redeemed
is more
hydrate.
like a-
Everybody take a drink.
Yeah.
Shot.
So it's kind of like similar to how.
There you go. All right,
Okay.
guys.
I'll keep that in mind next time. In my mind, he
look-
looked like Final Fantasy and
I-
bad guy.
Rather than prolonging the stream, I'm gonna look for somebody to raid.
Yeah, of course. Sounds good.
Let's see. Himiko Mio is on. Obaki Pam. Connor is on.
Oh my god, excuse me.
Ooh, Cat is on. Let's see who else. Nikto is on.
Yeah.
DDA is
Yeah.
on. Porcelain
DD's
Maid,
doing,
Iron Mouse. DD's doing his Dungeon of Terrible Dumbassery. Yes.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
like Ocarina of Time's
Yeah, yeah.
randomizer, I think.
Yeah, he's got 7 viewers. He's doing pretty good right now. Let's see.
Mm.
It's a question of who I want to raid. Okay,
Yeah.
Himiko. Are you a zombie? V horror. Himiko 18 plus. Quarantine Zone. Oh, they're playing Quarantine Zone. Interesting. Train Lady scares me. Oh no. Reverse 1999. That's what Obaki Pam is playing. Okay.
Oh.
Shez is doing art. Connor is just chatting? What is it showing that he's playing? No, wait. It says he's just chatting, but it's okay. There's just a bunch of stuff there. There's Connor. But I don't want to do a Bone Daddy raid. We've been doing a lot of those recently, and I'm like, all right, let's you know what? It's probably gonna be Cat Puff Gaming. So former
Come on.
Rimuru, still her Sarah. She's our Sarah. Oh my god,
Yeah.
of course. You know what? I almost want to rescind this because she's playing Dead by Daylight. I'm like, oh man, why do you hate yourself so much, man? Why do you got to play Dead by Daylight? But frick it, we'll just go ahead and raid her.
Frick.
Even if you are playing, oh, at least you're. You know what? I'll give her this. At least it's on the RE2 the RPD map. So you know what? I'm cool with that. It's on the RPD map. So at least it's a map that I like have some. Have
I
some
actually do
care
like,
with.
yeah, I like the Red Dead, or not Red Dead, Resident Evil stuff that they put into the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. All right, guys. So
One Red Dead.
make sure to run over and tell Kat hello from all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Sorry it was such a shorter stream. We had a lot of fun, but yeah, I don't want to make these guys go extra long, especially like just coming back. I prefer if we just kind of like eased into it, especially when starting a new book.
Of course.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, next week, hopefully, we should be able to get Moon on. But
Yeah,
Moon,
we'll
if
have
you're
Hugh,
not
too.
100% sure, we will endeavor to find another person to
Yeah.
based on your job at the moment.
Yeah.
Be
We'll
it.
see how it goes for tonight. I would have been on slightly earlier, like probably closer to an hour ago, except when I got home I almost loaded my pants, so I had to run.
Oh,
Goodbye, everybody.
enough said.
Good
okay.
night, everybody.
All right.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off just because of what you were saying. It's just we only had like
The
4
rage
seconds
thing.
left.
That's fine.
Oh,
I also
yeah.
just thought it was